Have you ever heard of an object so cursed that it has to be kept away from all human contact? I'm not talking about a spooky doll or a haunted painting. I'm talking about a simple wooden chair. But this isn't just any chair. This is the stoop chair, better known as the cursed chair of Thomas Busby. For over 300 years, this ordinary-looking piece of furniture has been linked to a terrifying string of sudden, inexplicable deaths. The legend is so potent, so chilling, that today the chair hangs high on a museum wall, forever out of reach, a silent monument to its dark and deadly history. So, who was Thomas Busby, and how did his favorite chair become an instrument of death? To understand the curse, we need to travel back to the year 1702 in North Yorkshire, England. Thomas Busby was a man known for his less than savory reputation. He was a coiner, which means he made counterfeit money. And he had a reputation for being a heavy drinker with a violent temper. Despite this, he managed to fall in love with and marry a beautiful young woman named Elizabeth Ottey. However, Elizabeth's father, Daniel Ottey, deeply disapproved of the marriage. He saw Busby for what he was, a criminal and a drunkard, completely unfit for his daughter. The tension between Busby and his father-in-law was a constant source of conflict. One fateful night, the story goes, Daniel Ottey showed up at the local inn that Busby and Elizabeth ran together. An argument erupted, and in his anger, Ottey made a fatal mistake. He sat down in Thomas Busby's favorite chair. For Busby, this was an unforgivable insult. No one, absolutely no one, was allowed to sit in his chair. Blinded by rage, Busby threw his father-in-law out of the inn. But his fury didn't end there. Later that night, consumed by a thirst for revenge, Busby went to Ottey's home and brutally murdered him with a hammer. Busby was quickly caught and sentenced to death by hanging. The execution was to take place at a crossroads near the inn he ran. As he was being led to the gallows, his final request was granted, one last drink at his beloved inn. As he finished his ale, standing beside his empty favorite chair, he is said to have uttered a chilling curse. With his final breaths, he declared, "May sudden death come to anyone who dare sit in my chair." From that moment on, the legend of Busby's stoop chair began. It remained in the inn, a grim reminder of the murder and the curse that followed. For centuries, the chair sat in the corner of the pub. Locals knew the story and were wise enough to avoid it. But as time went on, it became a morbid curiosity, a challenge for the brave or the foolish, and that's when the deaths began. The list of victims is long and unsettling. During World War II, the inn was a popular spot for airmen from a nearby base. They would dare each other to sit in the chair. According to local legend, not a single one who accepted the dare returned from the war. They all perished in action, a chilling coincidence that many attributed to Busby's curse. After the war, the pattern continued. In the 1960s, a pair of Royal Air Force pilots sat in the chair. Just hours later, their truck crashed into a tree, killing them both instantly. The stories just keep getting more specific and more terrifying. In 1970, a builder named Tony Earnshaw was dared by his workmates to test the curse. He sat in the chair, and that very same afternoon, he died when the roof he was working on collapsed and he fell to his death. Another story tells of a cleaning lady who accidentally stumbled and fell into the chair while mopping the floor. She died shortly after from a brain tumor. The most famous and well-documented case, however, happened in 1972. A delivery driver, after hearing the tales from the pub landlord, laughed off the curse and confidently sat down in the chair. On his drive back to his depot that day, he lost control of his vehicle in a mysterious single-car accident and was killed on the spot. This was the final straw. The pub owner, terrified by the chair's deadly power and the growing body count, had seen enough. He couldn't bear the thought of another death on his conscience. He decided he had to get rid of it, but he couldn't bring himself to destroy it, fearing what might happen. So, he locked it away in the pub's cellar. Even locked away, the chair's reputation lingered. The landlord was so haunted by its presence that he eventually contacted the local Thirsk Museum. He begged them to take it off his hands, warning them of its lethal history. The museum agreed, but they took the warning very seriously. They weren't about to put their staff or visitors at risk. They came up with a unique solution to display the artifact while ensuring no one could ever fall victim to its curse again. Today, if you visit the Thirsk Museum in North Yorkshire, you can see the infamous Busby stoop chair for yourself, but you won't be able to get close to it. It hangs suspended 5 feet in the air, securely fastened to a wall. It's a striking and eerie sight. A simple, unassuming oak chair, floating as if in wait for its next victim, but forever kept at a safe distance. A sign beneath it tells the tale of Thomas Busby and the deadly curse he placed upon it. So, What do we make of this? Is it truly a cursed object, imbued with the dying rage of a murderer, or is it all just a series of tragic, but explainable coincidences, amplified by folklore and superstition over hundreds of years? Skeptics argue that the stories are just that, stories. They point out that many of the accounts are anecdotal, passed down through generations, and likely embellished along the way. In a busy pub frequented by soldiers during a war, for example, the odds of someone who sat in a particular chair later dying in combat are statistically quite high. Accidents happen every day. But for believers, the sheer number of deaths and the uncanny proximity in time to sitting in the chair is too much to ignore. They argue that some things just can't be explained by logic or science. The energy of a violent act, the power of a dying man's final, hateful words, perhaps these things can linger, attaching themselves to an object and poisoning it forever. The museum, for its part, takes no official stance on whether the curse is real, but the fact that they've gone to such great lengths to prevent anyone from sitting in it speaks volumes. They're not taking any chances. The story of the cursed chair of Thomas Busby serves as a fascinating look into the power of belief and the enduring nature of legends. Whether you believe in curses or not, the tale is undeniably creepy. It taps into that primal fear of the unknown, the idea that inanimate objects can hold a malevolent force. The chair remains one of the world's most famous and feared cursed objects. It hangs silently on its wall, a testament to a dark history and a warning to all who might be tempted to challenge a legend. What do you think? Is it a genuine curse, or just a fantastic story that stood the test of time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the paranormal, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations of the world's greatest mysteries. Stay curious, and maybe think twice before you take a seat in an old, empty chair. You never know whose favorite spot it might have been.